Today is July 21st, and I will be having my first TMS or transcranial magnetic stimulation treatment for depression in 2 days on July 23rd. And I want to keep track of my mood, and I've tried different apps and journaling, and I just can't seem to stay consistent. So I want to start a type of like video mood journal to see if that's easier for me and I might stay more consistent. And so this will be my first mood journal 2 days before treatment. And I think I want some sort of structure for the journal. So I'll start by talking about what medication I took and then what I did, who I saw, and how I felt. This is actually the same journal structure that I gave to one of my patients that I worked with over the summer who has dementia. Minus the medication, I had her print out a bunch of sheets that had these prompts, like what I did today, who I saw today, and how I felt today. And this was mostly to help her remember things because of her Alzheimer's, right? Uh, and then she would bring her journals to the speech therapy session that we were having, and this was via Zoom. And so when I asked her, what did you do today, if she was having trouble recalling like who she saw or where she went, I would just tell her to refer back to her journal, and we kind of used that as a compensatory strategy. And I guess this is a common theme in the field of medicine, right? It's like I should really take my own advice and start doing what I'm telling my own patients or clients to do because it seems to work out well for them. Some of them really struggle with not only memory but executive function. And so we put different things in place for them to do, and I can't even seem to do that myself. But I do have ADHD. That's part of why I'm taking the Astaryz. So I also have major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and cerebral palsy. So I talked about the medication. Let's see who I saw today. So, I live with my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law, my son, my nephew. And today was also my nephew's birthday party. So I saw a couple of other people, like my brother and my sister-in-law and their kids, and a couple of people that they invited to the party. Um, the party was actually here in our backyard because, my nephew and my sister also live here. Um, but to be honest, let's see, so that's who I saw. And I also saw a cousin of mine, and she and I have always been very, very close. And I hadn't seen her in several months because she recently got married and, moved out of her parents' house. And she's just trying to get her, like, kind of accustomed to the married life. And so, she hasn't had time to kind of um, come and visit as often as she, like, used to. And, so it was really nice to see her. So that's what, and then her husband came by after work. So after he had gotten out of work, he came by and we sat out on the porch for a while and we talked, the three of us. Um, so that's who I saw. So I went over what I did, who I saw, and how I felt. Okay, so this is the fun part, right? For the past couple of days or weeks, really, I've been going through a whole lot of mood swings. One of my previous videos that I posted like 2 days ago talked about how I felt like I was having a manic episode, and I'm not even really I'm not diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Um, but yeah, today I felt really, really down and depressed, like this lingering sadness. Was just with me for most of the day. I was even debating whether or not I should go downstairs to the backyard to my nephew's birthday party, which was a pool party with a water slide and a jumper, and the kids had a blast. But I felt so sad, like such a sad weight that I was carrying, that I felt like if I went out there and tried to socialize and somebody kind of looked at me and asked me what was wrong or if I was okay, because I'm very bad at hiding my emotions, that I would just burst out in tears. Um, so, and then I couldn't even bring up, I didn't even have the energy to get up and shower and get ready for the party. So I was struggling. But my son was back there having a blast. And then he came inside, he came upstairs and told me that one of the kids was bothering him. So, of course, Mama Bear came out and had to go out and talk to the kids about getting along and being nice to each other, and that I didn't want to hear about anyone bothering another person. And then my son said, "Can you stay out here with me and can you eat with me?" And I think that he just kind of needed my company and my support for a bit. So we grabbed some tacos and I sat out there with him and ate. It was really hot out. And at this point, there were only like 3 or 4 guests at the party. So there weren't really that many people. So it wasn't super overwhelming. But I still kind of was carrying that lingering sadness. And I have been carrying this for a couple of, I want to say like 2 weeks. But also keeping in mind that I recently stopped taking my venlafaxine, so my effexor for the depression. I was initially on 75 milligrams, and then my provider upped it to 150 milligrams, and it was making me nauseous and, oddly enough, lethargic and depressed. I just couldn't deal with the side effects, so I stopped taking it cold turkey. So I don't know how much of my mood swings and what I'm feeling are due to like withdrawal symptoms that I'm having from just stopping the medication. Um, so yeah, I I was out there with my son for a bit. I ate and I said, "All right, go play with the kids. Go get in the bounce house or the pool." I'm going upstairs because I haven't showered. And so I've been feeling really depressed. And what I did last week is I let myself cry. I let myself kind of feel that feeling and cry. And I cried for like over a half hour. And afterwards, I felt better. And I tried to do that today, but it's very hard for me to cry, and I couldn't let it out this time, no matter how hard I tried. I tried listening to sad music, meditating, and I just couldn't cry. And then my cousin came over, the one that I said I'm really close to and I hadn't seen in a while. And we had a long chat about how the married life was going, and I kind of told her that I had been stopped taking my medications and I was having a hard time kind of adjusting. We talked for a very, very long time, right? And then when her husband came over, we were out on the porch and we talked for even longer. Not so much about depression, but just about general things like politics and married life and different things. And then I felt so much better after I had spent time with her. And I think sometimes we just need someone to kind of be with us and listen to us. And it's hard for me because, like I talked about in a previous video, I don't really feel like I have any close friends. I have some close family members, but not so much any friends that I could like call and be like, hey, let's go out to lunch. Um, really. So I don't know. So that's the medication that I took today, what I did, who I saw, and how I felt. And another thing that I've been struggling with is task initiation. I have been for like weeks trying to work up the energy to like clean my room and even study for my current voice disorders class that I'm taking, and I just haven't been able to. So that's been tough. All right, so this is the end of my very first mood journal, and I will be back tomorrow.